Tonight, in the field of the silent, a camp people story. From these contemplations no seer has emerged alive. From these contemplations each seer has died. How are these contemplations transmissible? I ask, but do not answer yet. Down under, far down under, is the locus of my tale. Under the heavy rope roots of swamp trees, under the eons of river muck, stirred by torrential currents, under the pebbles, stones, and boulders rolled down from the mountain of origins, there, among the bones of ancestors to no known humans, there lies the origin of such unsurvivable contemplations as reach me and for which I myself must die. And you, the listener, one sacrifice suffices, mine. You will not enter contemplation. You will remain but witness, as may be your habit, the scope of your capacity. And yet, you too will be enriched with a filament of eternity. A filament only, not the noose that strangles me. My friends, I bid you rise now, to reoccupy your own footprints, to straggle off. Those who would dare the guideline of this journey, come to me again at dawn. Sweet is the night, new lovers here and there, old lovers seeking new access, the weary, the embittered, cowering in the dark, fearful children breathing quietly, a mother weeping for her infant's deformity only she has seen, a father contorted with anxiety for his persistent failure in the hunt, his shame, his starving ones surviving on borrowed and purloined food, elders in the terror of unsteady gaits, agonies of broken teeth, explosive bowels. Of such things we do not speak. Dawn. My audience, so much reduced, has reappeared. Now join me here in dangerous considerations. We come to that most fragile element of our existence, belief. Before love, before hope, before wonder, belief. What makes your participation incidental and mine grave is that you will travel with two visions drug, which will return you at the end to the same reality from which you came, while I engage in my own psyche only and cannot reverse my journey. Wind and the grasses touch my fingers. In the rain ritual, let us begin. I have a place prepared, a separate place for each one of the 6 of you, prepared by my disciple, Leaf Braid. First one, come with me, others remain. Find me at the foot of this tall tree, first branch high aloft. Climb the rope ladder to cling and crouch in tree mother's lap. Untie the knot. Let drop the rope. In 2 nights, Leaf Braid will return the rope to you for your escape. As for me, I will summon the spirits of the never-to-be-reincarnated dead, whose bones lie far down under the heavy rope roots of swamp trees, under the eons of river muck stirred by torrents, under the pebbles, stones, and boulders rolled down or sputtered out from the mountain of origins. The silenced voice of these beings that speak to me will speak also to you, and you enter the second vision of the 2 visions drug, if only you do not lose your grip on your perch and fall. Agreed? You came to me. I did not come to you. You supplicants at the end of your measure of will to live. Agreed? From the tomb of bones exposed after the flood torrents stripped the river muck, and a sudden drought briefly exposed the site, and I, for 2 nights of drought, lay here with guards set against Jaguar, in great silence. I listened to the whisper of these bones, so fragile a shout had shocked them to disintegrate. Next, rain washed away the sight. Yet I saved here all in my cache, their renovated tomb. Spirits of eons past, come forth. You with the broken teeth upright, commune. Grace us or break us with your final contemplation. For I can call bones to speak, by call and by song, and by incense of the seers of the ancients, whose methods came clandestinely to me. In me resides the nothingness of all eternity. My bones cracked, dispersed, crumbled into dust. In these few days last signify when... Let the dead bones speak. Rattle them together in 2s and 4s and 3s. Where affiliates are found, the rhythm will emerge, the cadence and the sound of forlorn, forgotten speech. Beyond murders, beyond massacres, beyond extermination, beyond annihilation, elimination, disappearance, past and future, non-existence. Half human, half beast, so you called us, you with the perfidy and cunning. Human was your name. They with the claws and incisors, fierce beast was their name. Who might we be but shy wanderers, prey to human and to beast? In your campfires, there we found our long bones, our teeth. On your looms, we found our red hair and brown. In your cradles, we found our belly skin and back. In your bowels we found our eyes, tongue, and lung. Rattle our bones in twos and threes and fours. Where affiliates are found, the rhythm emerges, the cadence and sound of forlorn, forgotten speech. Beyond murder, beyond massacre, beyond extermination, elimination, disappearance, past and future, non-existent. As we go, so will you go. Now contemplate with us. Merge your emptiness with ours. Abide in nothingness with us. Anxiety spent, terror exhausted, silence at the end of scream. You have so far yet to come, but come you must. In the morning that lit the second night, the seer's disciple threw to each the knotted rope, and each descended from the tree limb of the second vision. They drank, they ate. In shifts they labored to dig a burial place. They laid in it the bones. They lay themselves among the bones there, skin to bone, against the dead. They gave the sacred burial chant. At dawn they rose. Hairs from their heads they tied onto the bones. One bone, one hair. With dirt and stone they covered the bones, half human and half beast. The place they disguised with broken branches. They walked away, following in the footsteps of the secret seer. They walked away, yet stayed. Of the bones reburied, there surely escaped a femur tied to the shin of the man called Despondent Drummer, and in his pouch 3 knuckle bones for a rattle. When he drummed thereafter, these bones spoke again. He heard them. Heretofore no singer, Despondent Drummer, sang for the bones. Marching my step through thicket, through creek, climbing my step to the pass, to the peak, grasping my handhold, squeezing where I squeeze, and there in the darkness my foot, my hand, windless, silent, ready to live. Marching my step through thicket, through creek, climbing my step to the pass, to the peak, grasping my handhold, squeezing where I squeeze, and there in the darkness my foot, my hand, windless, silent, ready to live. His wife rose from her sorrows then, saying,
"Take me to this place."
"Long journey," the drummer declared. "You, a woman, we will not survive."
"We are not surviving here,"
she said. Who knew their destruction? Not they, not he. On faith they traveled. A force of spirit drew them forward. They missed their way. They returned in their steps once half a day because they feared to cross a creek and misheard the femur strike to protect their fears. Then later cross they did, building a bridge as was never known. Impossibly, they arrived, and she not strong. It was a mound in a meadow, covered with brush and with stone, where the femur stopped dead on the spirit hand drum. The place that called us, the place we stopped, without hope or belief, was littered with stones and with brush. In the dwindling warmth of the season, in our fading strength we cleared it. Two-person boulders we heaved and removed as if we were both young men. Fragments of bone emerged then. The stones we removed were their crushers. Digging the soil, whole bones were found, then whole skulls. We tied each a skull to the crown of our head, like a tower of heads or a head with a hat. We tied each to each side arm bones, leg bones, ribs on like body parts. In the dark we stood facing, leaned back for support on the opposite trees. Thus we were obliged by the bones and the skulls. The moon it rose, monkeys screamed from leaves above us, monkeys whose meat had sustained our quest, monkeys whose bones we had sucked. The moon it rose, all still we stood, not knowing each other, empty of thoughts, our own skulls then. The skulls above began to speak, their speech engraved signs on the bones we had lashed, as if they were meaning sticks. Thus we truly report. Brother, now whither? Are we not the same as unbroken stone, by water and wind and leaf fall, untouched, forever fixed in this place? Eternity is very long. The terrible beings who crushed our bones, like us in form, but brutal in act, they massacred everyone who might ever have brought forth young to call us back. No mating pair did they spare, with no one of us did they mate and breed. Now we in the field of the silent, borrowing only a moment of speech from our guests, we, field of the silent, will rest in nothing again. The silence, the emptiness, nothingness now. The man and the woman, they opened their garments and mated. They assembled their garments, reburied the bones. They hastened home fearfully with stern purpose. A season passed. They returned to health. The belly of the woman grew. At the place of living or dying, she dropped out 2 live infants. All who looked at their faces exclaimed, "Strange, but beautiful. Beautiful, but strange." The man and the woman, they named the one infant Silence. The other they named Eternity. The origin of their spirits the man and the woman knew. Nothing of nothing they spoke. The seer touched the infants each at soul center, human and beast. He spoke their names loudly twice. Silence and Eternity. eternity and silence, while nothingness crept away. The seer, he dug his own grave. He motioned leaf-braid into the shadows. He lay down on his mat and did not arise. Motepigam herself, for the ancient seer, Motepigam alone gave the sacred burial chant. Now dodge, if you can, the storyteller's axe. By ones and by twos, by three and by fours, the way out is trodden but leaves no track. Those who depart know not where they go. Those who arrive know not whence they came. Destitute of destination, destitute of origin, who am I? This podcast is based on the remarkable writings of Jean Maria Arrigo, amanuensis. Performed by Westchester and Talia Morales. Original score by Westchester. Sound design by WCEXA. Additional music and sound effects obtained through artlist.com. Management support by Hal Brody. This podcast is made possible by a generous donation from the following: Norman Wong, Dick Martin and Cindy Valentine, Chin Chin Wu, Miriam Herb Allen, and Hal Brody. All rights reserved. 2023, Jean Maria Arrigo and Westchester. Thanks for listening.